Hello students, welcome to Quest Academy. In today's session, we are going to discuss the first chapter of your English Moments book, The Lost Child, written by Mulkraj Anand. The Lost Child. From the name itself, we understand that this story is about a child who is separated from his parents. It depicts the struggle going on in the mind of a child who is left all alone without the security and care of his parents. But before we start, let's talk about the author. Mulkraj Anand was born on 12 December in 1905 in Peshawar, which is now currently in Pakistan. He was one of the first Indian English writers who gained international recognition for his work. He was honored with the Padma Bhushan, India's third highest civilian award in 1967, for his vast contributions towards the field of literature and education. He won the Sahitya Akademi Award for his novel The Morning Face in 1968. He became known for his protest novel Untouchable, which was written in 1935, followed by his works on the Indian poor such as Coolie in 1936 and Two Leaves and a Bird, which was written in 1937. He died in the year of 2004 at the age of 98.
Now let's see the outline of the story. This story is about a child who goes to a fair with his parents and gets lost. At the beginning, the child is very happy to see all sorts of things in the fair which any child of his age would like to buy or enjoy. He wants to buy sweets and toys. However, his parents refuse to buy anything for him. But once lost, the child is not interested in the toys and sweets anymore, which tempted him when he was with his parents. All the things that attracted him become useless. Now he is missing his parents and wants to be with them. We all hope that at the end the child is reunited with his father and mother.
The story begins at a spring fair. A small boy has come with his parents to the fair and is very happy and enthusiastic to see various shops there. A lot of people are seen around. Some are walking, some are riding horses, and some on bullock carts. This little boy is running between his father's legs and is filled with joy and enthusiasm. As we move further in the story, we see that the child lags behind his parents as he gets fascinated by the toys in the shops. But his parents call him. He immediately comes to his parents, but he could not suppress the desire to buy the toys. He expresses his desire to buy a toy, however, his father gets angry at him. His mother tenderly shows him a flowering mustard field which looked like melting gold. There were lots of dragonflies, black bees, and butterflies in the field. The child went running to catch one of the butterflies, but his mother does not want him to go far away in the field. At last, she calls him and they start walking on the footpath. The boy starts walking with his parents on the footpath and gets attracted by the little insects and worms that were coming out of their hiding places to enjoy the sunshine. Thereafter, his parents sit under a grove, that is, a group of trees, on the edge of a well and call the child near. As he came under the trees, many young flowers fell on him. Now, without noticing his parents, the child starts collecting the petals in his hands. Later, he hears the cooing of birds and runs towards his parents shouting, "The dove, the dove." By this time, he had dropped all the petals from his hands. The child, being very anxious, had now gone near a banyan tree, but immediately called by his parents, who were walking through the mustard fields. As we can see, the child is very eager to explore new things that he sees around him. As they walked ahead in the fair, the child is attracted towards the cry of a sweet meal seller, who is selling gulab jamun, rasgulla, and barfi. A lot of people have also gathered around the counter of the sweet meal seller. The child is tempted to buy barfi, which is his favorite sweet. He murmurs softly to his parents to buy it for him, but he is also aware of the fact that his parents won't buy it as they would think that he is being too greedy for sweets, so he moves ahead with them. Later on, he sees a flower seller who is selling Gulmohar garlands. It becomes impossible for him to resist the temptation to buy the garland, so expresses his desire to buy it. Now, knowing that his parents would not buy those flowers for him, saying that they were very cheap, he moves ahead with them. Now, the child gets carried away with the sight of a man carrying colorful balloons. He wants to buy them, but knowing that his parents will not buy balloons for him, saying that he is too old to play with balloons, and so he walks away obediently with his parents. As they walk, the child goes to see a snake charmer. The snake charmer is playing a flute to a snake who is coiled inside a basket, and its head is raised and bent like the neck of a swan. The child realizes that his parents have moved ahead without him and runs to catch up with them. As in any fairs, in this fair also there was a roundabout which caught the child's attention. Men, women, and children were moving in the roundabout and were shouting with great pleasure. Now, finally, the child makes a bold request that he also wants to sit on the roundabout. However, to his surprise, there was no reply. He turns and looks behind, looks on the either side, but his parents were not to be seen anywhere. The child starts crying as he realizes that he was lost in the fair. He starts running all over in search of his parents. His turban was untied and his clothes were also muddy. He sees that there were men and women all over the place talking to each other, but there was no sign of his mother and father. He ran all over the place, crying bitterly and calling out for his parents. Then he went to a temple where the crowd was more dense. He struggled to make way in between the crowd, crying out loudly for his parents. Suddenly, a kind man in the crowd heard his cry and lifted him up. He asked the child where had he come from and where were his parents. The child was in no position to answer these questions. He started crying more loudly and wanted to go to his father and mother.
The man tries to comfort the child and takes him to have a ride on the roundabout. But surprisingly, the child is no more interested in sitting on the roundabout. The man then takes him to a snake charmer and asks him to listen to the music. But the child shuts his ears and starts crying more loudly and says that he wants his father and mother. Being very patient, the man takes the child to a balloon seller, the flower seller, and also to the sweet milk seller so as to distract the child's attention. But all in vain. The child keeps crying loudly and keeps on saying, I want my father, I want my mother. Here the story ends. We all hope that finally the child is reunited with his parents. This story has a deeper meaning. The writer here wants to convey that a child feels secure with his parents, but the moment he thinks that he has lost his mother and father, all the riches of this world become meaningless for him. As a literature student, we should always understand the deeper meaning which the writer wants to convey to us. Thank you.